Obama holdover political correctness and incompetence is still infecting our Department of Defense. And this past week, well, it literally got people killed. And this has been a very bad week for the United States Air Force. They have two massive black eyes, and we're going to get into what they are right now. The first goes back to September. An investigation was launched at the United States Air Force Academy Preparatory School when racial slurs were written on the message boards of 5 cadet candidates. Now, this isn't the Air Force Academy proper. It's the prep school where cadet candidates go to see if they have what it takes to become Air Force Academy cadets and subsequently U.S. Air Force officers. Clearly, these candidates didn't. 5 African-American students claimed they were the victims of racial slurs. Well, it turned out one of them wrote the slurs. Now, at the time, the Academy superintendent, essentially the commanding officer of the Air Force Academy, Lieutenant General J. Silveria, said, quote, "It is not who we are, nor will we tolerate it in any shape or fashion. The Air Force strives to create a climate of dignity and respect for all, period." Very appropriate statement. It's what he should have said at that time. Exactly what he should have said at that time. But after finding out it was a hoax, that one of the black students wrote it to frame a white student, cover up something bad they did, maybe take attention off their subpar grades, Lieutenant General Silveira, General Political Correctness, should have said, "Sorry, everybody. It was a hoax. Sorry for wasting your time. We've expelled the student in question," which they did, by the way. So that was one good move. But instead of doing that, he doubled down on political correctness. He said today, regardless of the circumstances under which those words were written, they were written, and that deserved to be addressed. Well, they were written by a black student. It was a hoax. So sure, it deserved to be addressed by kicking him out and apologizing for wasting everyone's time. Lieutenant General PC went on to say, quote, "You can never overemphasize the need for a culture of dignity and respect, and those who don't understand those concepts aren't welcome here. How about the need to overemphasize not committing hoaxes designed to frame other students or cover up your own bad behavior? That's what should have been said, but not in the age of Obama's political correctness. And Lieutenant General PC here is definitely an Obama holdover. I looked up his tenure. We've got to get rid of all these people. So that's the political correctness destroying our Department of Defense or military. Let's look at the incompetence that got 26 innocents slaughtered, or I should say contributed to the slaughter of 26 innocents at the church in Sutherland Springs, Texas. We now know that the United States Air Force never shared Devin Kelley, the savage murderer's conviction information. He was convicted in a military court in 2014 of domestic violence. He served a year in military jail in a brig, but the U.S. Air Force never transmitted his conviction info to the Department of Justice so that they could enter it in the National Crime Information Center and all of the databases that are checked when someone buys a gun. Incompetence. The United States Air Force twice dropped the ball here. Once, they blamed white students for something they didn't do. And secondly, they contributed to the murder of 26 innocents by not sharing information. But it doesn't surprise me, because under Obama, the Department of Defense cared about transgenderism. NASA said its primary mission was Muslim outreach. In fact, the Obama administration spent more energy on transgenderism in the military, forcing it down the throats of the military for the 11 or 12 or however many minuscule amount of fractional amount of transgenders were actually in the military. They cared about that more than streamlining their systems to report on convictions or appropriately addressing hoaxes, or more importantly, killing ISIS. Oh, I don't know, neutralizing North Korea, neutralizing Iran instead of dropping billions off to them in the middle of the night. No. The Department of Defense under Obama was focused on transgenderism, and that manifested itself very clearly when Bradley Manning, who became Chelsea Manning, well, hers prison sentence was commuted after committing one of the most heinous acts of treason in United States history. Now, if Manning, Bradley, Chelsea, whatever her name is, wasn't a transgender, this sentence probably never would have been commuted. This person is a traitor in the purest sense to the United States of America. This person disseminated information that helped our enemies and arguably got our people killed. And the ones that didn't get killed put their lives in grave risk. Obama didn't care about that. Bradley Manning put on a wig, changed his name to Chelsea, started spewing leftist propaganda, and Obama opened up the jail cell doors. There is nothing more disgraceful. Or is there? Well, let's talk about Bo Bergdahl. Bo Bergdahl deserted the United States Army and went to live with the Taliban. 6 soldiers were killed searching for Bo Bergdahl. And what does a military court do? Well, they dishonorably discharge Bergdahl, and they give him no jail time. 6 American soldiers killed searching for Bo Bergdahl. You don't hear their names, so let's talk about them. Staff Sergeant Clayton Bowen, 29, of San Antonio, Texas. Private First Class Morris Walker, 23, of Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Let's look at a couple of others here. Staff Sergeant Kurt Curtis of Murray, Utah. Second Lieutenant Darren Andrews, 34, of Dallas, Texas. Staff Sergeant Michael Murphy, 25, of Snyder, Texas. Private First Class Matthew Martinek, 20 years old, as a kid, 20 years old, of DeKalb, Illinois. I'm speechless. 6 American servicemen killed searching for the deserter Bo Bergdahl, and a military court gives him no jail time. Bradley Manning shares state secrets, volumes upon volumes of classified state secrets with enemies. He puts on a wig, changes his name to Chelsea. His jail doors are open. He's let out. And now he's a celebrity on the left. The United States Air Force, more worried about transgenderism and political correctness, doesn't share conviction information on a violent criminal that they sent to jail and dishonorably discharged, who wound up killing 26 innocents. And they're actually doubling down on political correctness when it's found out that the black students committed a hoax against themselves. Our Department of Defense is a mess, and this mess was caused by the Obama administration. The military is not a social experiment. That's how people get killed, and Americans are put at risk. America is put at risk. We have to do something about this, and the President of the United States, Donald Trump, better order Defense Secretary James Mattis to look into this and rectify these problems immediately. If you want to see more of this really compelling content, please subscribe to our premium service at www.therebel.media/shows. If you're already subscribing, thank you very, very much. I'll be back with you tomorrow. I've got a great interview with Kurt Schlichter. Thanks for watching.